YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. Hey, when your name online is try to beat me, I mean, you kind of are just asking your opponent to give you quite the game, right? So let's see how this one turns out, because the Wood Elf player has brought a very understandable, albeit gimmicky army. So he's got 4 Hawk Riders and a Glady for skirmishing, and then basically a heal blob army. And this is a pretty popular tactic with a lot of factions if you have the right units, and for the Wood Elves, this would be the right units to try this. You got a couple of Treekin for tanking, lots of anti-large, Wildwood Rangers are anti-armor, Eternal Guard have anti-armor. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, really. You've got the high armor and defense of the Treekin helping to shield all the spears and Wildwood Rangers. The Vampire player's got these Devils of Schwarzhofen, the Dire Pack, Varix Reavers, Blood Knights, and then back here, Vladdy Daddy, and a Corpse Cart. The Corpse Cart becomes the very sudden and obvious target of the aggression for the Wood Elves, because it's easy to kill, and it will reduce the overall melee effectiveness of the Vampire army. This is a very expected and smart move for the Wood Elf to open with. And in terms of the Vampire army, he's got a front line of Graveguard, there's a couple of Skeleton Spears, the Feasters in the Dark, Crypt Ghoul. Hey, speaking of all these Regiments of Renown, who is excited for the Regiments of Renown coming soon? It's going to be freaking awesome. Get it for the Beastmen, Chaos, Bretonia. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. And Norsca, I guess. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. That Corpse Guard has lasted longer than I thought. He must have hit it with an Invocation of the Hag at the last second, which honestly is wasted magic. So the Vampire player is pushing towards the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves would normally probably just try to avoid an infantry engagement until all of the skirmishing had been done. And since the Vampires are slow, they might be able to do this, but the Vampires are using their speedy units over here to get the attention of the Wood Elves. These Varix Reavers have a pretty punishing charge. They are a pretty decent unit for their price. And they're being used here to cycle and just, like I said, keep the Wood Elves' attention, and you can see that they're all blobbed up, but they want to be. That's how they want to fight. The healing does the most damage, and then all the anti-large, anti-armor, and all that stuff can combine, so... I've had a lot of people make comments when they're big fans of the historical Total Wars, like, this game has too much blobbing. Well, I mean, there's a reason why people blob. It's because of area of effect, magic items, and then healing area of effect spells. There's downsides to blobbing, too. Like, blobbing is not a one-hit wonder. Blobbing up like this, for instance, if the Vampire player brought a sneaky Purple Sun, oh my gosh, you could wreck a heal blob that gets set up like that, because the Purple Sun can do so much damage. A Wind of Death can do immense damage to a blob like this as well. So there are definitely ways to punish blob healing in the game. So it's not, can it be a viable strategy? Yes. Does that annoy some people? Absolutely. But is it unbeatable? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So you can see those Devils of Schwarzhofen get pretty jacked up. And here the Vampire Cavalry kind of acts almost like predators around like a ball of game fish. And look, here's exactly what I said. Look, Wind of Death, very dense formation of Wood Elves, rips right through them and does incredible damage. So if you look at Vlad, he just picked up 114 kills on the Wood Elves. So that's the kind of stuff that you can punish heal blobs. Heal blobs are only effective if there's healing going on right from the beginning. All the unit models that were lost there, those 114, those can now not be healed permanently. So they can't resurrect like the Vampires can. So the main battle lines are met, and you've got the Vampires here with the Spears and the Graveguard. They will actually be pretty tanky. And with Vlad behind them, their leadership should hold up fairly nice. The Dragon's going to immediately drop in, though, and start hunting around Vlad. But the Vampire player taking their time here. And interesting enough, the Hawk Riders and stuff are focusing on Vlad. I really think they should be focusing on the Cavalry and getting rid of the Vampire Cavalry, because look at this Rohirrim-esque type Vampire charge over here. You get the undead Rohirrim. It is going to be a brutal charge. Blood Knights, Varix Reavers, and the Dire Pack all just slamming into the back of the Wood Elves, and immense damage. Now remember, again, all unit models that are killed cannot be healed. So you can see here comes the healing blob idea, but so many unit models have already been lost that the Vampires are in really good position, and despite the best efforts of all the skirmishers, they are not putting a dent in Vlad. It is very difficult to skirmish down Vlad in this way. It can be done with the right units, but it's not easy. And And the Wood Elves here really don't have a good answer to killing Vlad. The dragon just punts him around a whole bunch, and they just don't really have the best thing to do it. I think one of the better things for killing Vlad sometimes is maybe getting him surrounded with like cavalry or other stuff that he's just not good against. But even still, he gets knocked around quite a lot, and it can make him difficult to kill. But if we look here, I mean, the Wood Elves are hanging their skirmishers up in the air. They're firing in, just trying to do as much damage as they can. I don't know exactly what they're targeting here. We can try and take a look. All their units are, it says firing. Yeah, it looks like the cavalry at this point, which is a good call. And there comes a Arrows of Kurnos. Looks like it was targeted at the cavalry as well. The Vampire Cavalry is definitely the biggest threat to the Wood Elves here, because they might be able to outlast the vampires in an infantry fight, but it's not going to happen while they're being rear charged, and these Blood Knights can definitely get some damage done versus the Treekin. So, despite the healing, yeah, you can see that I think the Prey of Eneth-Rema could have been used well against something like the Blood Knights to pin it down, and then hit it with everything all at once to try and get rid of the Blood Knights. Because the Blood Knights have a vicious charge at about 76, and the Varric's Reavers are just under 60 for their charge, so they are all capable of doing immense damage. The Reavers have already racked up 40 kills, and the Blood Knights 36. The Dire Pack's got 23 kills as well, and in a Wood Elf army this small, that's a big deal. That's a lot of kills. And 114 kills also immediately to Vlad, just for the Wind of Death. So again, I think that despite the fact that blobbing may not be what a lot of people from like previous Total Wars would have liked to have seen, the reason why it gets used in Warhammer is because Warhammer is a different reality. Or I say it's a different reality. It's a different fictional reality. In ancient history, of course, or even more modern history in warfare, yeah, you don't typically want to blob up. It's a good way to get yourself killed. In this game, it can also be a good way to get yourself killed, but sometimes it's a way to share the effects that a hero or character imbues. And to me, I kind of like it in the sense that it's a demonstration of some of the depth of strategy that this game actually holds. No matter the complaints that I hear about short battles, or magic, or flying units, or all this other stuff, this game actually has a pretty big depth of strategy to it. And even over a year on, I find myself able to create new and different armies with factions. And the diversity of armies that I come up against in this game, while not perfect, I still run into a bigger diversity of armies, I think, than I do in other Total War games, where it started to get extremely predictable after a long amount of time. Now, sure, there are meta-type armies that you're going to run into in Total War Warhammer, but it doesn't seem to be a guarantee. All the flyers are finally going to come on down, but this is a pretty big risk. With Blood Knights here, the Blood Knights they got annihilated, though. Wow, that charge from the Hawks. But there is still a lot of vampire forces left here. Quite a lot, in fact. And there's still a lot of battle left here, too. So the Wood Elves, definitely not out of the fight. In fact, it still shows them in a decent position. The vampires just lost pretty much all their cavalry, and their Reavers are crumbling. I don't know how much the Reavers can be healed. A fair amount, about a third of their hit points could be healed still. But if they lose the Reavers, they're going to be in rough shape here, because the Wood Elf skirmishers can kind of continually harass them. The Wood Elves are badly going to need these Treekin. They still got their Spell Singer as well. Oh, the Treekin stabilized just in the nick of time. So this could turn into a much more dramatic ending than it initially looked like here. It looked like the vampires were going to just go ahead and finish this thing. And obviously, again, you can see this is why the Wood Elf chose this army. Because of the heal blobbing and the skirmishing, he's probably having pretty good success against vampires with this. Let's see here. So Glady's fighting away. She's got 62 kills. Decent number of kills on the Hawk Rider. 9 there. I mean, it's not great. Hawk Riders don't typically get a lot of kills, but they can inflict quite a bit of damage. This Treekin's just fighting away over here. They have some physical resistance. Graveguard are not going to be a great matchup. And over here, look at that. The Reavers caught with Prey of Eneth-Rema and targeted out. Good call by the Wood Elf player. He needs to get rid of these Reavers. Yeah, there's quite a lot of ammo left here, so the Wood Elves are going to be able to inflict a lot of damage. And then the fact that the Flyers can cycle charge is going to be somewhat nightmarish with the remaining vampire forces. as Graveguard infantry is not going to be ideal for taking down what's left of the Wood Elves. Let's come in here and check this out, get some close-ups. You can see the Hawk Riders continuing the skirmish. Man, I can't wait for like the flying skinks and all the other awesome stuff for Warhammer 2. Wonder if they're ever going to announce Skaven. Come on, CA, get on it. It's time to announce it. If the little rat men are coming, then start telling us about it. Comes the Hawk Riders, probably out of ammo and charging in. Oh, this game's beautiful. Absolutely love this game. So beautiful. I know it makes a lot of people mad, but man, this is definitely my favorite Total War debate, which is saying something. Because I don't know if you all remember or not, but whenever they first announced Warhammer, I was kind of like, meh, I'm not sure I'm all that excited for this. I mean, I was pretty disappointed at the way Rome 2 and Attila had kind of gotten stale, and some of the mechanics a little bit annoying, even though I liked them. I'm not saying I didn't like them. I did like them. And I was just not super thrilled that they were going to be spending their time on a Warhammer game. And this game converted me from the first time I played it in San Francisco at an event with Creative Assembly. I knew this game was going to be good. I'd been to a couple of events before, like before Rome 2 launched. I got to go play it ahead of time. I got to play Attila ahead of time. And, I mean, they were exciting, but I could just tell when I played this game with Creative Assembly. I was like, this game is going to be good. You could tell by the way it felt, by all the new mechanics and stuff they'd added in, the physics in the game. But I was just super excited, and it's turned out really good, and I'm really happy because I think that means good things for Total War in general. And that makes me super excited. I love all the titles that they're working on right now, both historical and fiction, and I have really high hopes for Total War right now after getting somewhat disappointed for quite a long time. So, to me, I'm kind of excited because I feel like Warhammer has kind of rejuvenated Total War after some very shaky releases with Rome 2 and Attila. So, let's check this out here. Hawk Riders getting some good fights. Yeah, I know I get into that discussion sometimes, so, you know, if it annoys you, you just have to deal with it. It's the way I feel. But I hope you all are enjoying these games too. I love them, and that's why I like recording them. And like I said, even though some of the games have had things that annoy me, and Warhammer has things that annoy me too. But yeah, even though all these games have something that annoys me, man, in the end, I just really love Total War. Love making videos of it. Love playing the game. I love how many of you enjoy it and get excited about it. I love all the mods and the community. It's just great. Lots of good stuff. Let's check out these big birds here diving in. This is quite the fight, actually, and I think it's going to end up being... Man, there's still 8 minutes of fighting left. Good grief. How? Look at this, the bird's just cycle charging, so this is exactly why the Wood Elf chose this. The Spell Singer alive to the very end has been able to help heal these units and cause maximum damage. The Vampire Infantry is almost gone, which is going to leave Vladdy Daddy to face this pretty much alone. And Vlad is just not taking much damage. Let's check him out here. He's still got 633 hit points. I don't see how Vlad could possibly win this. I really don't. I mean, maybe if he kills the Spell Singer, but the Spell Singer could just run away from him, I would think. And then there's still Treekin. And then the cycle charging Hawks, man. I don't know how this happens in terms of how the vampires pull this back. But I mean, it shows pretty even. Vlad's getting hit by the Prey of Anathema here. I mean, there's really no more missiles. Well, I mean, the Glady actually has missiles, and if he runs out of healing, the Glady's missiles could do a lot of damage. There's 4 Treekin left right here with low hit points. Vlad is still very healthy, and the last few Graveguard hanging on here, like the Sternsmen, have been pretty clutch, actually. Get some extra damage done and saving Vlad from being completely alone. Vlad's raising zombies at this point, which is great, because that's just more hit points that the elves have to chew through and to keep them busy. So that's a great way for Vlad to stay alive even longer. But, I mean, how does Vlad kill a Glady on a dragon and a Spell Singer? He's good, don't get me wrong. Vladdy Daddy is good. There's 4 Treekin there and 3 there, so 7 more Treekin. I mean, they're not going to do great against Vlad, and he just shattered one of them. Vlad causes fear, but not terror, it looks like. Well, hang on. I think, yeah, Vlad causes... Hold on, let me get it here. Causes fear. I don't think he causes terror. Anything would be helpful, though. So, yeah, they're having to get rid of the zombies, which is going to be troublesome. If the Spellsinger were to die, then the Glady would kind of be in trouble. I mean, she could still cycle charge. She's got ammo left. I would think she's going to go up here and start firing and just pull the Spellsinger to a safe distance. Vlad still has some healing that he can accomplish. I don't know why the Glady's not spending her ammunition. It's just absolutely odd. Using the Prey of Anathrema and then not using the ammunition when Vlad is vulnerable to the missiles is, again, it's just an odd choice. There's 10 more missiles, and those are 346 missile damage. That's a lot of damage. Vlad's not shielded either. So there goes the last Treekin unit, and you can see Vlad just gets knocked around everywhere, and that's one of the reasons why he heals at such a rapid clip, and then he gets tossed like this, and it makes it difficult to pin him down. Very difficult. And he can be slippery, even if you bring an Infantry Lord to try and get him. Part of the problem that you can run into is with the Infantry Lord, Vlad can just raise the dead. See how he's just constantly knocked around like that? And the amount of damage inflicted to him just stays minimal. Now, he can't heal at this point. There's 5 minutes left. The Treekin is not coming back. The Glady can skirmish. Though the Elf player seems to just be oblivious to it at the moment, which, I mean, I can't blame him. I miss all kinds of stuff all the time. So another charge, almost ineffectual versus Vlad. Just the charges aren't adding up to much. If one of them connects, though, I mean, one would think. Looks like Vlad's dodging back and forth. Yeah, I mean, the charge is just not... Yeah, right there, there was a pretty significant impact. Vlad uses Master of Beguilement here and actually gets a hit on the dragon before it runs off. The Spellsinger has got to be faster, though, at 35 speed. Actually, Vlad's got 40 speed. Spellsinger's very tired. Vlad is debilitated. He looks like he's catching her. So it's gonna... Oh, nope, the Prey of Anathrema. So yeah, he probably won't ever catch her. Is the elf gonna skirmish here? Does he realize it? I'm not sure the Wood Elf realizes still. So just continually charging Vlad. So let's see. Still 3 minutes left. Dragon's gonna turn around and come down. Vlad gets knocked on his can, but it doesn't do any damage.
With haste. Very well.
So he's gonna chase the Spellsinger again. Again, if you can get the Spellsinger, but it's not gonna be easy because of this. If Vlad gets hit again, minimal damage. The dragon is just not causing a lot of damage right now. And Vlad just kicked it in the rump. There's no more healing for the dragon. You could heal the Hawk Riders, assuming there's magic, and you could heal the Spellsinger, assuming there's magic, which we don't know, and that's something that I hope Creative Assembly changes in Warhammer 2, and maybe could patch back into here, is being able to see magic in a replay. That'd be great. Vlad takes another charge, but minimal impact, like minimal damage. Yeah, he took some hit there. Definitely a more significant hit, but the dragon's going to take a hit potentially too. Nope, the Hawks are going to come in. It's still a pretty even fight, and it shows 2 minutes left. Vlad is going to have a very hard time getting a hit in here. And the elf player is hoping to cycle charge him to death. Yeah, I mean, there is some damage coming in the follow-up attacks, but the charges just don't seem to be having that big of an impact on Vlad. 13-10. He's not going to get another attack. Here comes the Hawks. Hawks are going to knock him over and immediately charge out. So the cycle charging is real. I'm wondering if the next patch is actually going to do something about the cycle charging. I kind of think it'd be cool if they had a thing where if you charge in, that your unit has to remain on the ground for a certain number of seconds before it can take back off, and that flying units lose speed on the ground. Oh, look at that. Summon zombies around them. That's going to be enough to get the Hawks just from the fear. Vlad, though, is reeling, almost dead. The Spellsinger comes in to egg it on. Let's see what happens. The zombie summon, it's still showing a close fight here. Oh, look at that, the dragon! About to waver and rout in the face of zombies. But now with the zombies here, the Spellsinger might be in trouble too. Vlad is in rough shape though, at 700 health. But there goes the Hawks. Ooh, the dragon here. It's gonna punt Vlad, he takes a small amount of damage. But look at this, the Spellsinger's gonna rout. And that could actually turn the tables here with the summoned unit of zombies. Oh, Vlad takes a big crunch. He's gonna be a goner. He's down to 1 hit point. All that's left is a summoned unit of zombies. A very weakened Spellsinger and a weakened dragon. Surely not. Surely the vampire can't get a fear rout here with a summoned unit of zombies and win the battle. That would be incredible. It's close. This Spellsinger's barely hanging in. I think this summoned unit of zombies might actually win the game here. Holy cow, it's so close. There go. Oh my gosh. I'd always said I wanted to see a replay where a summoned unit of zombies wins the game, and they did. 1 unit of zombies, folks, just pulled out the victory. Holy cow. And I'll bet you the vampire player was absolutely loving this because of that somewhat gimmicky Wood Elf army, which I say gimmick. I mean, it's well chosen for fighting vampires. It's well chosen. It's annoying, but it's well chosen. So, I mean, that's... wow. A fear rout. It had to be the fear that got the Spellsinger and the dragon in the end. Because you get the fear effect from the summoned zombies, and they're unbreakable, of course, like any vampire unit, but they degenerate. I don't think they can crumble, though. Wow. I mean, gaming peeps had to be feeling good after that, and Try to Beat Me was probably wishing that he hadn't put his name as Try to Beat Me. Good grief. That was crazy. A summoned unit of zombies won that. Unbelievable. I'm curious now. Let's go to the leaderboard. Is he on here? Try to Beat Me. CC. Okay, so CC is a clan here. I know these two guys are dang good players. Pippington. Yeah, look at that right there. Number 8 on the leaderboard. He got pulled down by that. Holy cow. I mean, his army is, like I said, it was gimmicky, but it's well chosen. It makes perfect sense as to why he picked that stuff. I mean, I know there's going to be some of you out there that absolutely hate that kind of stuff, but I mean, it has a viability to it. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to see that army come out victorious there. And it's against a pretty high-ranked player. So, yeah, that's pretty... Man, these guys got their clan is stacked. This guy has been on top of the board before, I think. I know Araka Boss has been on top of the board. I've played Pippington before. This guy's good. And I've never played Try to Beat Me. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Man, yeah, they got a dang good clan going on there. Look at all these guys they got on the top 100 there. Cool for them. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this battle. I know I did. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more Total War Warhammer action. Do want to appreciate my sponsor, MSI, for helping out my channel and keeping me up to date with hardware and equipment. And I appreciate you for being here. I love making this content for you, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy making it for you. Have a good weekend. I'll see you soon.